Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another stream, and welcome back to another video and another series. As you can see here in the top corner, it's a brand new series and we're doing something different. Not an airplane, not a tank, not a battleship, not an aircraft carrier. It's a Gundam. Now I already know some of you guys are going to think, oh, not another Gundam, but you know what? I think they're cool, and so I'm going to build them, and that's the way it is. And if you don't like it, click on another video. Go watch an airplane build, go watch a tank build, whatever you want. But I'm going to build a Gundam because I think they're cool. Robots are cool, darn it. And yeah. So there you go. What are we building though? This is the RX-178 Gundam Mark II. I believe this is the one from the second series, back in the 80s, when giant robots were really awesome and everybody wanted them. Yeah. So that's what we're building. Yes, here we are. Sorry it's a bit dark in here. I don't have the one light turned on, and it's raining outside today. So yes. So let's get started. Alright, so I've already opened the box, obviously, because I've got the instructions out. Our tiny little decal sheet. Not much. It's typical of the Master Grade series. They don't give you any water slide decals, which is kind of disappointing. You would think they would do that because it's the Master Grade. You would think they would do that for you, but they don't. Bandai, in their infinite wisdom, and they spent all their stuff doing it. There's all the sprues. Okay, I've taken them out of all their bags, and here they are. So this video series is going to be a little bit different than my normal thing. What I'm going to be doing is I'll be fast forwarding a lot of the actual cleaning up and all that stuff. Speaking of cleaning up, I should clean up my desk a little bit here, working on a little resin figure here. I'll be utilizing my razor file, the glass file, and my balancer to clean up the nubs. I love this thing. Every time I do a Gundam build, I wind up talking about this thing again. Razor glass file from, what is it? Gun Primer, over in Korea, South Korea. Awesome thing. I love this thing. I not only use it on my Gundams, but also on my regular builds sometimes when I really want to get a nub cleaned up really perfectly. Speaking of which, I'm doing a little testing on metallic paints, getting prepared to do P-51 Mustang builds. I have 3 of them. I got 1/32 scale Mustang, and I've got 2 48 scale Mustangs I need to build. So I'm doing some experiments with different metallics, what primer goes down underneath better, how it's going to look over the black, how it's going to look over gloss white, just to see. I want to do some testing before I get to that actual build. So that's what this is about, in case you're just wondering, what the heck is that plane? Anyway, back to the Gundam build. Got my God Hand nippers ready to go. Let's take a look. I'm going to guess we do the body first. That seems to be typical of the Gundams. This one actually comes with a base to display it on, so that's cool. A lot of them don't come with a base. Base. Yeah. So, let's see here. Yes, body unit first. Surprisingly enough, it's only a page and a quarter to assemble the body. So it looks like this might actually be a fairly simple and fast build. Maybe. We shall see. We shall see. Let's just put my glasses over here. Okay, so we need our A, B, D, F, H, and PC. PC means polycap. Now, the thing I like to do to make these stand out is we got 2 C trees. I'm actually surprised that Bandai didn't do their usual thing where they actually have a stencil cut through and it's hollow. We actually don't need those for the body unit. I guess there's no white. What tree is this? See, I'm going to wind up taking some strips of masking tape and putting it there, drawing the letters on, because that's hard to see that A. But I do need this. I need B and D. So our beam saber beams. Won't need those for till the end, really. So what are these? These are, this is D and G. I need my D. Feels good to touch the D. Don't need G. We've got a piece of wire. And a little piece of hose, which I'm going to guess the wire goes into. I could be wrong, but in order to keep it from getting lost, I'll just keep them like that. Throw them in the other box until they're needed. Next, K. This is K. I don't need K. E. Don't need E. E look like backpack parts. B is, I need B, so there is some white on the body. Here's our polycap tree. And this is F. Yep, we need F. This is J1. Both J1. Those are clearly the feet. This is I. We don't need I. And this is H. We do need H. So we get some yellow on there too. All right. And then of course our final one, might as well bring it out here. This is the base. Some decent detail. Not a lot on it, but it's pretty cool that they give you this option so you can have him standing there like he's ready. It looks like it's the part where he's going to come out and be ready to launch. That's what it looks like. And this is something unusual for Gundam build, is actual chrome parts. This is J2. Actual chrome parts with a Gundam kit. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what we're looking at here. So we need put that away. I need some A and B and D, and we're going to build the little pilot's cockpit. So F, B. I need B14. B14 is the pilot sitting there. Amaro Ray, no thank you, and no thank you. I don't need those guys. So we don't need this right now anyway. So I need A26, D2, D number 2 right here. That's the actual pilot seat. You may be wondering, why don't you just use your Tamiya nippers? Just use your Tamiya nippers on this stuff. Why do you have to get these guys? These are much smaller and they are sharper than the Tamiya ones, and that's why I'm using them. They make a cleaner cut. A25 and 26 are little round balls here. They make a cleaner cut and they don't stress the plastic because they are sharp. And the Tamiya, don't get me wrong, the Tamiya ones are sharp also, but they just don't cut it. They're just not, you know, if the God Hand ones are top notch, Tamiya's one notch below. That's how I would rank them. Yeah, there are other brands out there that are just as good as the God Hands, and they cost a lot of money, just like the God Hands. But you don't need to. I mean, I wanted to get a really good set because I like having no stress marks on my nubs when I'm doing these, even if I do wind up painting it, which is something I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be painting this guy. Similar fashion, I'm thinking. In my mind, I have a plan of going with a similar camouflage pattern as I did on that Zaku, the Zaku / Phantom, that I did not record the video on because nobody wanted to see that. It made me upset, and then I had to cry about it for a little while, and then realized I'm not a snowflake, and I got over it. And then my friend said, well, you need to at least show it on one of your videos to show how it looks. Okay, and so I did. Alright, so those are cleaned up. What are we doing here? We're going to take this guy here, and we're going to put the seat in. And it's going to go like this. Now, if I really want, I could do some black wash, do some panel lining in there, and I think I will. Why not? Why not? Why not? So that in the event somebody opens the cockpit door to have a look inside, the detail will pop out a little bit for them. Because that's always nice. Panel lining always helps with being able to see the detail. And it's subtle and it's small, but it's there. Okay, and then this goes, and we have our little ball. This is similar to the cockpit in the Sazabi. Yeah, I think that's also the escape pod. Anyway, so we go from this and we got to go down to here. We go D1 and F15. So I'll grab a D. That's F. D1. This guy here. D1. F15. F15, that's a cool plane. That's my favorite plane. F15, always been my favorite plane. Why? Because I was always a huge fan of the Decepticons and the Transformers show. Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, and they happen to be F-15s. And so, hey, if the Decepticons chose the F-15 as their plane to be, obviously it's an awesome plane, right? And of course it is the one plane in the world that has a track record of, even though it was basically, you know, a plane from the 80s, early 80s, it never been shot down in air-to-air combat. Okay, so we put the little ball through. Oh, I gotta clean this up first. Gotta clean this up first. This is where the razor file is so awesome, because you can feel it biting into the plastic. until that nub is smoothed out, and suddenly you got no resistance, and it's like, yep, job's done now, and you have successfully filed away a nub right down, and even polished the spot just a little bit. It's really, really fantastic. I love this thing. I'm sure there are other brands of glass files out there, but when I saw a video review of this one, I was like, okay, yep, gotta have it. And then I found out it's from Korea, and I was like, whoo-hoo-hoo! Yeah, just because I'm not Korea boo, don't accuse me of that, but yeah, it's cool. Okay, so that was done. So now we gotta find F-16. Hey, F-16 is a cool plane too. Built for dogfighting, the F-16 was, and is still arguably one of the best dogfighting planes in the world. I do have an F-16 build in my lineup coming up one of these days that I'm going to paint as in the aggressor colors, just because it looks pretty cool. The black and gray and almost white color schemes of those things, it's really striking color, I think, and it's different than your typical, hey, it's going to be light ghost gray because it's an Air Force plane. Okay, I need polycap 18. Need one of these. I might need two, but it's only showing one here. So let's see. Where does this go in here? Down in here in the middle. And I show it with a flat edge facing the front. There we go. Like that. Okay. Let me change the angle. Change the camera up to the overhead so you can see a little bit better. And you can see what I'm doing. So yeah, here we go. More traditional stuff. So that's where the polycap goes, and you want the flat edge facing this side. Okay? And that's that. So that's 1 part 2, 1 part 3 done. Now we move up to 1 part 4. We need F11 and 13. There's 11. And we're going to need 10 and 12 also, so I might as well get those off of here now. So that's 10. Let's put them there. So we need 13. This guy here. You go over here. Okay. Now, of course, because I'm going to be painting this, a lot of these are going to be a different color, but I want to show you guys the before and afters. So yes, I realize my particular audience is not a big fan of Gundam builds, and obviously I'm not well known enough in the Gundam building community to be popular. So I don't have any of those people watching me. And I mean, there are a couple of Gundam builders on YouTube that have a lot of popularity, but they also have a part of an anime that I don't, and yeah. Okay, so this is going to go like that. Okay, and this, so that's going to mean this is going to go the same. Okay, so with this together, we got to put that on F14. Oh, F14. The F14 Tomcat. We got two 14s. All right. Okay, so what we do is we take this and we take this guy and we shove him through like that. These two little pins line up with those holes like so. And we're going to do the same with this guy. Alright. Okay, so then we move down to here. We're going to put our stuff together here. So with this guy like that, we take this and put it in that hole. We take our big body and he goes in here like this. Does he really? Got it slotted right, it's just doesn't want to line up. Let's take this guy out so I can see. Should be a simple matter of lining up the pins and pushing them in. Doesn't seem to fit. It looks like it should go further back, and based on how the length of that pin and how it lines up there and there, it should go back further, but it's not. So what is stopping it? I'm not sure. We have to sandwich it together. So we take this piece here, 1, 3, which is strange because we haven't referenced that at all yet, and yet it's not telling me the number, what number that is. I mean, it's fairly obvious. Maybe I've got it backwards. And I have it backwards. That's why it's not fitting. I need to get this piece off of here, because that's this here. See, it pays attention to look at the instructions, especially when things don't seem to be fitting right. Because I was trying to put this together with that piece, and that was my mistake. But now I know better. And so in theory, it's going to fit together properly. Let's get you out of there. So we take this, we line our holes up. Oh hey, look at that, how it fits in there. It's fitting in there snug now. How about that? Now we take this guy, and he goes in here, and this guy goes in this side, and then this is going to be our neck piece. We want to have this facing out, so it's just a simple ball sliding in there. Doesn't go back very far. Just kind of sits like that, and then we sandwich it all together. Everything all lined up, everything all looks good, goes together really well, just like that. Bam. It's funny how it all goes together when you got it all facing right way. Now, one thing I did forget already is to put little caps on top of here. And these are off the A tree, A6 and A5. I missed those. It's these two here. It's A6. A5. I'm cleaning these nubs up with my knife because it's the side, the way they go on there, you're not really going to see them, so. Okay, so these go like this. Fortunately, you don't have to take it all apart to put them in. There we go. Okay, so we got nice movement there for the arms. That's a nice shoulder pivots. And good movement on the neck too. That's going to be cool. Of course, as things go on there, your movement does become a little more restricted, but still, that's that. So that's it for this page. So we flip this guy over. Now, we want A8 and 9 and 11. Eight, 9, and want 11. It's this guy here. Okay. I also want D3 and H4. Okay. D3 and H. H was our bright orange, yellowy one, wasn't it? Yes. H4. Okay. So you notice I cut these nubs really, really big here. And that's because I wanted to come in and trim them like this. It's a lot easier to get precise when it's off of the actual tree and minimize the stress on the plastic, which I might even wind up doing here. When I cut this, I might stress it. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Just stressed a little tiny bit. It's not perfect, but that's where super sharp nippers come into play. And if you don't have them, if you don't have really sharp nippers at your disposal, then what I would recommend, don't trim it right down like that. Instead, get it close and then use your hobby knife, use your files, that kind of thing, to file it down ever so slightly so that you don't stress the plastic. Now, if you're planning on painting this like I am, then go nuts. It doesn't matter. As long as it's smooth and everything when you're done, then the paint will cover up. You know, the paint's going to cover up stress marks, so you don't have to worry about it at all if that's what you're doing. And that is what I'm doing. I'm going to be painting this guy. He's going to be getting a nice camouflage color. Even though this is the Mark II, Gundam Mark II, it was still primarily a ground unit. Not really meant so much for space. I mean, it was, but that was a series where the Titans had it, and then A.E.U.G, like they stole it or something, and they had it painted a dark color, the Titans color, with all the Titans logos and everything all over it. And then the A.E.U.G stole it back. Something like that. I'd have to watch the series again, but it's something like that. And then next thing you know, they painted in the A.E.U.G colors of the white and everything, and spent the rest of the series as the A.E.U.G. You guys who don't watch Gundams at all, you have no idea what I'm talking about, right? Pretty much. Okay, so with these cleaned up, this one still, I didn't do this one yet. Okay, so we gotta put, they're not telling me to do it in any specific order, except this has to go down a certain direction. I'm not sure. It's Japanese, so I'm not 100% positive. I think this just goes down first. Lines up like that. Realized there's a nub I didn't clean up. Okay, that goes down. Then our yellow guy goes down. Little tabs are lined up. It's a tight fit. There we go. It helps hold those two pieces together, sandwiches them together. Okay, so then we have our two halves that go on the front. So we take our sides, and how do they go on? They go on the front way like this. Oh, I gotta clean that nub up. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold up, hold up. We got a huge nub mark to clean up there. There we go. Much better. How's this side look? I gotta do the same here? A little bit. Yeah, okay. Alright, so this goes on here. Just like that. And then this one goes on this side. And then we put the back on. Just like that. Sandwich it all together. One thing that I find is common in every Gundam build I've done, when you put these two halves together, there's always this little groove here. They never try and make them look flush like one piece. There's always a groove here that's about 1 millimeter wide right through there. It's common on every one I've built. Okay, that's done. So that part's done. Next, we got an F-18. All right, an F-19, whatever that is. And let's see here, F-18. Now that's a D. I just grabbed my D for no reason. F-18 and 19. 14, 15, 21. There we go. There's 18. And 19. Okay, there's those. And we need A7 and A29. Well, there's 29. And I need A7. There's 10, 5, there's 7. Big guy. Again, I did the nub marks really big so I could clean them up better while off of the sprue. That. All right. The other thing I've noticed in so many Gundam builds, you always have the internal component parts that cleaning up the nubs is not a huge deal. It's not imperative that you make them super clean. It's only important that you get it smoothed down so that the fit, it doesn't interfere with the fit at all. Okay, so I need to clean these with thermophile because of reasons. Because there's always reasons. That's right. You might be able to see the little outline around there. Okay, right where my finger is, right there. You see that, how it's outlined in white? That tells you that there's still a little lip there, because as I've gone over it with the file, it's deposited the, the sand, the dust. And that's how you can tell how, it's a good way to tell if you've got it down to it being flush or not. And sometimes it just requires you having to get in there with your knife to shave that, fraction of a millimeter off. In other words, to get it to be smooth. Sometimes that's what it takes. Now, how important is it to get it like that? That's up to you. That is a decision you have to make. How clean do you want it? How perfect do you want it? Okay, so we're going to take this guy, and we're going to take this guy, and we're going to clip him down on here like this. And then we're going to put it inside here. Just like that. Okay? That's sticking out. Now we're going to take this guy, and he's got to go this way. And what does he do? This tab goes into that little polycap thing. There we go. It's kind of interesting. Am I doing something wrong? It doesn't seem to fit flush. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to go. But anyway, we have this, and then we have this guy, and he's going to line up. This in here has to line up all the way down inside here. So how's the easiest way going to be to do that? Just like that. Alright. So the fact that this one doesn't line up perfectly flush doesn't matter because you never see it. So now, how does this open up? That goes like that, and then this rotates down. This can come up like that. And then close, close. There we go. That's a neat little cockpit gimmick. And finally, we need H3 and H2. Our boob vents. All right. Alright, so these guys, they kind of only go one way. You want to have the vents facing down, so you kind of want to pay attention to how they go. They also are kind of angled outwards, so if you're looking at my chest, the top is facing further out than down here, okay? So you got to pay attention to this angle here, okay? That's the important thing. So you want to have them facing that way. There's one. And there's two. Done and done. Whoops. Okay. So there's the body. The body's done. And we didn't really lose any movement as we put everything on. Everything seems to be about the same as far as range of motion. And we have a new little gimmick for opening the cockpit, although it's a little, there we go, hook your finger underneath there and you can open that up, and that allows you to pivot that out just like that. Bingo, bango. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so that is where we're going to leave it for today. Okay, back to scene one. Hello again. Yes, that's it. So that's the body unit. Next is going to be the head and backpack. It's funny they're doing the backpack, because normal Gundam builds, you do the body, you do the head, then you start on the arms, then the legs, then the waist, then the backpack. But we're doing the backpack in step 4. But yeah, next is going to be the head, but that's going to be next time, because I have to get going here and head out the door. And so yeah, that's going to be it for today. And yeah, we're going to leave it there. And thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please head on over to my Twitch channel and follow me on there. I would love to actually be able to talk to you guys live on Twitch. It would show up here in the chat box over on my right side. Whenever somebody says hello and starts talking, you can do that. You can see the chat. You can ask me questions. Why are you doing Gundams? Right? Well, even though I explained it at the beginning. Anyway, yeah, it would be great if I could talk to you guys. That would be really cool. And get you guys talking in the chat. That would be awesome. I know you guys you're not huge fans of the Gundam stuff, but I'd appreciate it if you liked the video anyway. And put comments down in the comment box. I will put links to my Razer glass file if you guys are interested in looking up how much these things cost. I do recommend them. I'm not sponsored by them. I love it. I think it is a fantastic tool. It's kind of a game changer when it comes to cleaning up them nasty marks on your plastic models. Not just Gundams. It's not just Gundams. When you build planes and tanks and stuff like that, this thing is really, really cool. I recommend it highly. I'll put a link down in the description box below. So, until then, I want to thank you guys for watching, and thanks for coming out and subscribing and liking and all that stuff. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you all in the next one.